We're looking at this young mulberry tree. We're being a little bit critical because we can have a great influence on the structure it carries through its whole life with a little bit of work now to mold this tree for the future. Can you see this limb that starts in the center, comes over here, goes past and rubs on a more dominant limb? This limb should be removed for thinning purposes because it's an interfering branch. Remember, when doing work like this, it's important to use good tools and safety glasses. Doing this just with a handsaw because it's all that's required. And let me show you this. You know there was some rubbing happening there because there's a spot worn here and there's an identical spot worn on the back side. Had this limb remained, it would have got bigger, put more pressure on the permanent limb, and been a more serious issue, which we were able to avoid by our work today. There will be times when you need to eliminate a whole lower limb for the purpose of raising the canopy up so that lower limbs don't hang down. Even though this is a small limb that I easily could take right back to the branch collar with just one cut, I will do it with a series of 3 cuts, because if it were a large heavy limb that I wasn't able to support with a hand while I'm cutting it, and I tried to just cut from the top with 1 cut, I could cause permanent damage to the main trunk that we're trying to keep forever. It would rip down. I made some markings on the limb to show you where I'm going to make the 3 cuts, and I'll explain to what order I'm going to make them. The first cut is going to be an undercut. Right here is this mark, just about 1/3 of the way through, and that'll stop any ripping that happened when I make the second cut. The second cut will be from the top on this line, a little further out from the first cut. That will remove all the weight, and we'll just be left with a stub to remove on the 3rd cut. We're going to begin the first undercut, and remember, I'm not going all the way through. I'm only going 1/3 of the way through to make a mark, really a cut in the bark. 1/3 of the way through, I stop. Come out to cut number 2, which is the top cut. It will relieve all the weight on this limb. The limb is gone. Left me at the stub. Time for the final cut at the branch collar. Because we relieved all the weight in the first 2 cuts, the 3rd cut we were able to make without risk of ripping down. Had we just started with 1 cut from the collar down, it would have gotten halfway through on a heavy limb, and it would have ripped, giving permanent injury to this parent limb. But because we were careful with the 3-cut method, this limb will heal nicely and grow forever.